Hello, warriors. Welcome to the U Movement. I am B. I am in between clients right now, and I have made my way outside where this glorious sun, oh my God, thank you. Like, I can't even tell you how incredible it is to feel this sun, even though it's still damn cold. So I've got my snugglies on and warm. So first side note that I'm just going to mention is temperature fluctuations. Yeah, get used to those. That's a weird ascension symptom. Of course, when you lose over 100 pounds like I did, you're cold all the time because the insulation's gone. So, and then second thing is softness. I used to wear, just anything. And now I'm like, if it doesn't feel soft and soothing on my skin, that's why I live in my bathrobes, because I don't know what these are made from. They're like, I don't know, the softest things on the entire planet. So appealing to our sensory system as much as we possibly can is it's worth it. It's worth every single second of it to be in soft, soothing, warm, cozy, comfortable things. And, it's about 2 degrees here, so it's not at all warm. I've got my winter sleeping bag and the camping mat down, wrapping my bottom half as I sit and just listen to some birds. I don't know the calls of all the birds, but I was hearing a little bit of a woodpecker off in the distance. I do know that one. And what this sunshine is bringing in is a whole new vibe. And like, man, whoa, that was some dark energy we were just processing through. Yeah. Didn't like that so much, but it's not our job to like it, but it is our job to sit in it and transmute through it as the stuff comes up for release. And today, what I'm sitting in is noticing that energy is beginning to feel like it's moving again. So it's so weird, and our minds really struggle with the constant shifting and turning of energy, the in-between cycles, the going between like a dark night of the soul and ego death and trauma release and inner child work and shadow work. And if you need help with any of those, please feel free to get in touch and book a one-on-one with me. And then the void energy is equally unpleasant as far as I'm concerned, because it doesn't feel like anything's happening. You're living in Groundhog Day. You're being held. You're very tired. There's the exhaustion. It's overwhelming. So each of these phases has a different kind of response to it. In the dark night of the soul, there's a much more active kind of energy. It's a masculine energy where you're doing a lot. You're doing the shadow work. You're doing the inner child work. You're doing the reprogramming. You're doing the reparenting. And that's a little bit, even though it's, could be compared to the 7th level of hell, it is also, my comfort zone to be into the masculine energy, where when you go into the void, it's not doing. It's stillness, it's silence, it's exhaustion, it's sleep, it's rest, it's recalibration, it's restoration, it's all of these types of energies. And the mind can go a little bit ape in that. And then you bounce next into reintegration. And that's when things start happening. And warning needs to come with that is, don't think that once you've turned a corner, that's it. You ain't going back into these other cycles before, because they just keep repeating and keep repeating and keep repeating until you balance the masculine, the feminine, And then when you're in that recalibration, when things are moving forward, it's like, okay, have you learned the lessons and integrated what you needed to learn? So you're learning in Dark Night of the Soul, and then you're integrating in the process of the void, which is feminine energy. And then you're put into the test of life again. So things start happening, things start moving again. And life's like, okay, did you learn? Did you learn how to communicate better? To speak clearer, more concisely, standing in authority? Is that if that's your test? And I would hazard a guess right now that could be one of your tests that's coming up, because what I've been picking up on from the collective energy is we've got throat chakra activations happening, we have third eye chakra activations happening, we have crown chakra activations happening, and that's why we're having all these symptoms like dizziness and headaches and head pressure and feeling like your face is being moved around, and throat issues, sinusitis, clearing out, mucus, purging. All of those types of things might be coming, physical discomforts and things like that. Because as things clear out on the physical, things are being realigned for us on the emotional as well as the mental, and as well as the spiritual scape. So we are being tested to utilize the new energies that have been downloaded into us in that void time. So lots of things are being downloaded or upgraded. You can look at the void as like when your phone is powered off and a new operating system is being downloaded. But before the operating system can be downloaded, you're in the Dark Night of the Soul, where you're expunging the old operating system. You're facing your fears. You're facing the insecurities. You're facing the trauma that is being released. And then you go into the integration phase, where you're like learning new ways of being, and you're getting the ahas, and you're getting the downloads, and you're getting the new levels of awareness that are saying, you don't need to think the way you used to think. You don't need to behave the way you used to behave. You don't need to do any of those. You can shift. And these shifts happen like very quickly. This is quantum level healing. For the amount of healing that I did in 30 years in comparison to the last 3 years, like I've way surpassed in 3 years' time. Like it's like speed times 10. I've done more healing in the last 3 years to the power of 10 than it really in the power of 30 years. It's unbelievable. So I'm today sitting in the, okay, I'm doing a little bit. Now I'm resting a little bit. Now I'm doing a little bit. Now I'm resting a little bit, and balancing the masculine and the feminine energies within me. At the same time is I'm grounding the new reality, and the way to do that is to get outside, get grounded, get your feet on the ground if you can. It's a little too chilly for bare feet on the grass at the present moment of time, maybe, but I'm choosing a little bit of comfort, so I am. So today I wanted to hop on and do a little bit of a shout out to talk more about what I am seeing as the balancing act that's moving forward. And I pulled some cards today. If you didn't see that read, hop on my Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. I'm on all of those. I'm trying to learn and navigate my world through social media. I find it very perplexing, but that's okay. It's not my job to know. It's my job to just be in the moment, and when there's an inspiration to do something, to do it, to get into presence, to get into that center point that is, and that's what's happening right now, is like, we are the past and the future and the now. And so we are collapsing being back then and being forward in the process of trauma release and worry, So in between the bouts of depression and the bouts of anxiety, we bring ourselves back into the present moment, into balance, into here now, into the heart space. The last geez, it feels like weeks. I don't know. Time is really losing meaning for me anyways, in this process where the past and the future is collapsing into the present. And coming back into my heart space, I've been doing so much heart healing. So really, at the end of the day, we're kind of, all of the chakras are activated and doing stuff, and you could be, it's like they're bouncing around. The energy's bouncing around, interconnected energies, and always coming back into the heart space is where I am finding my peace in. is in this heart space, grieving the way that and letting yourself grieve. If you're in grief, please let yourself feel those emotions. If you're feeling like boundaries are coming up, that's also an issue that's been on the table lately. So relationship is in a transformational stage right now, and there's a lot of people that are saying, I'm identifying that I'm no longer in resonance with this, and I'm trying to see ways to pull apart, which is sacral, to create healthier boundaries for myself so that I can be in peace and in balance with myself. And none of these things are selfish. There's a lot of indoctrination that we have received through the years that have kept us embedded in toxic systems. And so I wanted to address a little bit, and I made a post about this the other day in regards to, what are some of the things that people say that keep you trapped or looping or baited into toxicity. And there's so many little ploys that may seem subtle and may seem like they're innocuous, but really they're not. It's like if you get wrapped with enough thread, which if you have just a single solitary thread, it's very easy to break through that. But if you took a lot of thread and wrapped a whole bunch of thread around you, it's a lot harder to break through. And so each of these little innocuous, subtle jabs or baits or tools of manipulation are still ways to keep you trapped. Obviously, it's far more easy to identify huge things. So like if you had a giant rope around you, you'd be like, how am I going to break through this? I can't break through this because it's really thick and fat. But it's obvious and you know what you're dealing with. Whereas if you have tiny little strings that are holding you in old habits, thinking, behaviors, they're harder sometimes because there's more of them. I don't know. I'm a seamstress. I used to do a lot of sewing, so I guess we're talking in seamstress analogies today. So some of those subtle ways that people use are, one is baiting, and I want you to be cognizant and aware of baiting, because it's a very subtle form of keeping you engaged in things that otherwise, when you're not in cognitive dissonance, you would say, no, I'm walking away, I'm clipping this, I'm out. So examples of baiting are, you have a conflict with somebody, and then like an hour later or a day later, they're like, hi, how are you? How's things going? So they've completely negated and ignored any emotional things that have come up for you, and treated it like it was nothing, even though it was something for you. And then you're like feeling like, wait, we haven't had a chance to process through this, discuss this, nothing was resolved. It's just been dropped. And now I'm supposed to pretend that like everything is a-okay. And that can be a really subtle yet triggering form of completely negating your experience and exasperating. Used to happen to me all the time. Absolutely exasperating. Like 20 minutes later, they'd be there like, hey, I was thinking of making a cup of tea, would you like one? And just totally in cheerful energy, like nothing just happened. And you're left going like, what the we not just have a massive argument and nothing got resolved, and I said I needed time to process, and now that's just, what is happening? So that is one example. Another example is a lot of intrusive questions. All of a sudden somebody comes along and, is trying to hook you by making you question yourself through questioning. It's like being in a small little room with the CIA, and at first glance it kind of looks like it's because maybe they're interested. They like me. They're showing an interest in me. That's why they're asking these questions. Well, I don't want to be rude, so I don't. So I'm gonna answer those questions. And then you get engaged in more and more questions. So be aware that excessive question making is a tool that is used to collect data. And once data is collected, they have exactly the information they need to manipulate you even further. So when something feels a little bit off and it feels like, that's a little too personal. Where's my privacy? But because you've been trained over and over again to be kind, you want to communicate, you want to keep conversation flowing and things like that. You think there's a subtle hint of something's a little off, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too sensitive. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Number 3, the benefit of the doubt. If you're constantly giving the benefit of the doubt to somebody, be aware they're using your benefit of the doubt to their own advantage. So we need to stop giving the benefit of the doubt and start giving the benefit of the instincts and benefit of the intuition. Because when we write things off that are subtle energies as being non-toxic, the problem is they are toxic. They're just in really low doses. And those low doses of, well, maybe they didn't really mean it that way, when they did kind of a backhanded compliment or a backhanded jab, or, maybe they're just really busy and that's why they didn't call me back. Or, maybe they're going through a lot in their own lives and there's a reason for this and there's a reason for that. If you're constantly excusing somebody else's little hurts, you got to stop giving the benefit of the doubt and start giving yourself the benefit of intuitive knowingness. Nobody is so busy that they can't respond to text. They always take a look at it, and it doesn't take more than 10 seconds to write, "We'll text later." So even if somebody is busy and they're like in a meeting, two words, it doesn't take. So one thing that I've noticed along this journey is in the communication center, this throat chakra that's opening is, if it feels off, it is, and call it out. And if you can't call it out because it comes to a point where there's a pointlessness of calling it out, just take a step back and keep taking a step back. So the energy that I've been in last few days has been in observing some of these subtle energies. Another one that I wanted to just shout out is the "you are." When somebody says "you are," enter any criticism or judgment. That is not what you are. That is what they are, and they are projecting a "you are." Anytime. I'm identifying these little subtle strings now, and I'm not tolerating them. So be observant. Make a list even of subtle things that people say or do, and then make another, beside that situation, try to identify what's really at play, because the problem with subtle manipulation is we don't always see what it is, and we excuse it or write it off as something else, when what we need to do is see it for exactly what it is and call it out for exactly what it is, or at least validate ourselves in the experience. Because on this journey, sorry for the barking, on this journey, there is so much confusion that's happening as new truths are coming to light, and being validated is of huge importance. And if you can't get validation from somebody else, you need to be able to give it to yourself. And if you're constantly looking for validation from outside of yourself, that's definitely time to do a little bit more work on creating a process of validation. So first we have to identify what the settle string is, and then we need to find a way to clip it, and we do that by, identifying what it is. Give it a name. Is this manipulation? Is this baiting? Is this lying? Is this what is this? What is this that I'm experiencing that feels off to me? Is this negating, minimization? Give it a name. Give it a name. Once you give it a name and it becomes a real thing, then you can identify it and see it and clip it and cut it and go, no, that's not going to work for me anymore. Identifying and labeling and validating an energy that feels ick to you is a way to be able to break free one after another and do differently yourself. So when you identify it, you go, okay, listen, they're baiting me, they're manipulating me, they're whatever. I don't like it. I don't want this energy anymore. I'm tired of giving the benefit of the doubt. I'm tired of having my empathy used against me. I'm tired of this cycle. Now, what I can do about it is I can't change them. I've identified that there's a pattern. I can't change them, so I'm not going to try to change them at this stage. If it's a repetitive thing, trust me, they know. Here's a rule, and I had somebody in the Spiritual Warrior Support Group the other day ask the question, I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I'm paraphrasing here. I feel like I'm doing a cycle, and how do I know when it's time to leave? It's time to leave when you've identified you're in a cycle, because it's a cycle because it keeps repeating. If you have a balanced partnership, and you bring about a concern or a need or a feeling, and that's not taken seriously and addressed and problem solved, then you're in a cycle. That's it. It doesn't take more than once for them to change their behavior. If they actually care about you, and now they know what bothers you, and they choose to stop to continue doing it as opposed to changing or altering their behavior, that is a toxic cycle. So you step away from it. There's no point. It comes to the point where there's 0 point in debating it over and over and over and over again. If you've mentioned it more than 3 times, it's a cycle. And so there's no point in mentioning it again, but there is a point in creating a healthy boundary and saying, no, you can't speak to me like that. No, I want out of this. No, this isn't going to work for me. Thanks for what you're offering. I'm done. All you can do is control you. That's it. You cannot control somebody else. You cannot change somebody else. You cannot fix somebody else. You cannot heal somebody else. Your love is not going to make the situation any better. Only they can choose to help themselves. And where we're at energetically, with all these shifting planets and this, that, and the other, it is understanding I am seeing toxic, I'm identifying it, I've spoken up about it multiple times, and so now what I'm saying isn't about creating a solution, it's about creating an exit strategy and a way to clip the cycle. That's what I have control over. That's what I have power over, is power over me. And what I'm willing to tolerate or not willing to tolerate. So my list of what I'm not willing to tolerate is getting longer and longer, and it's great. And I don't care. I don't care. I am not willing to tolerate anybody that shows up into my life and says, you are, enter negative commentary here. Nobody has the right to critique my life. I don't care if there's such a thing as freedom of speech. You can have freedom of opinion, but your freedom of being, you can have freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want to say in your own space. I can't control that. But if you want to be in my space, that's a no. So the door gets shut. I was joking with a friend. They need to invent a block app where you can just like block people and then they just disappear. But there is. It's called walking away. It's called speaking up for yourself, standing up for yourself, calling out bullshit, saying your truth. All of these things being empowered in that throat chakra to be in integrity, authenticity, truth. All of those energies. That's what's coming in, is this energy of, I used to tolerate a lot of nonsense. I used to give people the benefit of the doubt. I used to excuse things that really shouldn't have been excused. I used to forgive things that really shouldn't have been forgiven. I used to work at things that never got fixed, never improved, never got better. And now I'm seeing that this is a cycle, and I'm stopping the cycle, and I'm taking control over me, and I'm taking control over what I have control over, which is where my physical body is located in relation to you. I can move it as far away from you as I can need. I can put it behind a door. I can put it behind a block. I can put it in safety. Emotionally, I can create space and create divides from anything that is no longer resonating with me, and I can allow myself in that emotional space to go through the grief that they couldn't show up in the energy that I needed or wanted, and once you grieve through it, you're like, oh, well, it is what it is, I'm seeing it for what it is. I've processed through the emotions, and it isn't the way that I wanted it to be. And well, that sucks, but I'm going to do me. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to be free, and I'm going to be healthy, because you won't be healthy on the physical or the emotional if you stay in the environment of low grade toxicity. Not all toxicity is obvious as, getting punched in the face. Some toxicity is longer lasting because it's slower and more subtle, and it feels like grasping onto gas. I can't grab hold of anything. I'm feeling dizzy, I'm feeling nauseous, but I can't grab hold of the gas. So be cognizant of that, and use the power of the intuition and the power of your voice to stand in your truth. More and more it's about calling it out in self and saying, this is how I participated in this. I participated in this by being overly forgiving, by having a lack of boundaries, by having a lack of confidence, by having a lack of self-empathy, self-care, self-awareness. But I'm changing all those things. That I can work on. I can work on me. I can do the spiritual work. I can do the shadow work. I can do the child work. And I can stand up for myself. I can speak from a place of absolute integrity and truth. I can speak to myself in truth, and I can speak to others in truth. And when you get to this point where it's like you just have way fewer fucks to give, you're able to speak much more clearly and concisely. You don't need to convince anybody of what they're doing, or you don't even need them to acknowledge it. You can just be like, that hurt me. And then observe how they respond to you saying that your feelings were hurt. If there's an action or an inaction, you have your answer. That's it. I am hurt when this situation happens. That's not blaming, accusing. It's not saying, when you do this, it bothers me because this, and I need to explain myself, and there's so much I need to say. No, you just that really hurt me. My feelings are valid. And then they'll go, oh, no, they're not, or they'll try other means and methods. So when you say you're hurt, if you don't get a response of, I'm sorry is just lip service. The words I'm sorry are meaningless. People can say whatever they want. And saying I'm sorry and doing I'm sorry are two totally different things. So if you have mentioned it more than 3 times and you have gotten I'm sorry more than 3 times, but the behavior remains the same, you are being manipulated. And you need to extract yourself from that. You need to cut the cords that are keeping you in this cycle, because they're not going to change. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely sorry that that is my message today, is to say, you have to accept them where they are and who they are right here, right now. We are collapsing future hope and future faking and future false promises, and we are observing and seeing the patterns of the past that brought us into this, the cycles, the depression, and we're being in the now. And the question, therefore, that I'm going to leave you with today is now, right now, here and now, in the energy of now. Can they give you what you need? Are they showing up in a reciprocal energy and meeting you halfway on the bridge now? Not do they have the potential. Everybody has potential. We're not talking about potential anymore. Timelines are like collapsing and bringing us back into the present moment. So it doesn't matter what they have the potential to be. If they don't have it now, then you need to cut the cords to that situation and say, I hope you get it. And when you do, give me a call. And maybe I'll be available, and maybe I won't, and maybe we can discuss it then, and maybe we won't. I don't know, because I'm not there. I don't know where I'll be or who I'll be in the there by the time you figure yourself out. But in the now, that's a no. You can't give me what I need now. I can give me what I need now. I'm going to give myself what you can't give me. I'm going to give myself respect. I'm going to give myself integrity. I'm going to give myself love. I'm going to give myself compassion. I'm going to give myself forgiveness for how long I've been trying to give you time to change, and you've chosen not to. That was a choice that they made. They chose not to. So, in the now, right here, right now, are they who you need them to be? Let me know. If this is a struggle and a challenge and something that you need help, because listen, I have said in the 1,000,001 videos, there was nothing harder for me personally to escape from than trauma bonded toxic relationship that ended up being the worst karmic soulmate ever. Worst. And listen, from a soul level, I understand why I needed that karmic lesson, and it has served me in many ways. I am not the same person that I was when I entered that relationship as I am today. Now that I'm out of that relationship, it's completely transformed me in some very painful ways. But I am stronger for it. I have much healthier boundaries for it. I have much better intuitive knowing for it. I am much more astute at recognizing it. I am much more a lot. It's not an easy journey. It's not supposed to be an easy journey. We came down to break cycles. We came down to all the binds that we have is to cut through them one after another so that we can become free. So I am sending you all my absolute love for those that are stuck in toxic relationships currently, understanding and realizing that they're in toxic relationships. I do have a narcissistic playlist, so do hop into that. There are a lot of videos that will help you out. I am here for you if you're wanting to book an appointment and discuss the exit strategy and some of the things you might anticipate coming down the road for you. because I've been through it and I do understand exactly where you are, and I also understand what's in front of you, and I want to support you as much as I can. If you need more help, hop on into the Spiritual Warriors support group and bring up and see what other people have to say within the group. Because it's not just my voice there, but it's the voice of many that are in it, going through it, got out of it, and they understand. Because it is without question one of the initiations on a spiritual awakening is to escape from narcissistic energies and become self-empowered. It's like a built into the program. It's an unpleasant built-in, but it is a built-in. With that all said, I'm sending thanks to everyone who likes, shares, subscribes, sends supers or donates to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in the Zoom group meetings. The next one is Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the access to that is in the Spiritual Warriors support group. And then on Friday, we have a dance-off. Wah! Get your dance on and wiggle and move through the grief and punch out and jump up and down through the anger and the frustration that you might feel, and bring ourselves energetically into a much more peaceful vibe. Peace in.